What are some of the misconceptions you had?
However, I was not confident.
Mm.
I thought I need some guidance from an expert.
What is your thought process behind this?
The important factor is time here. You have given all the optimization techniques, LinkedIn optimization, Naukri optimization.
What are the things you have done in this last 10 weeks that has actually helped you to get more interview calls or able to clear the technical rounds or able to even negotiate the salary?
So that has really helped me because before that I haven't received any call for two continuous months.
And how exactly you are able to convince them?
For me, one advantage was I had prior experience of 1.5 years.
What are the top 3 things which you learned while working with me?
One is the blue ocean strategy, which you told.
Little bit of most groundbreaking, I would say, because a lot of people think that expensive course करना है उसके बाद ही नहीं जाते opportunities, right? Hello guys, welcome back again to Grow with Gireesh podcast. Today we have one more success story in front of us. This time it is a little different, and this profile will definitely make you understand the power of not giving up, and also it's not about always your life career is over after a big career gap. So today we have Sahiti with us, so who worked in TCS for 1.5 years as a Salesforce developer initially, then took a break to pursue the toughest examinations in the country, which is a UPSC examination, and she's still pursuing on it, and she got a gap of 2 years. And after, despite having a 2 years gap, she re-wanted to start again her career in IT, and this time she took a domain of data analytics as a domain. So, and in less than 10.5 weeks, she landed her job at Qualcomm uh, this time. So I want you to go through this inspiring journey along with me today, and we'll learn a lot of things in this podcast today. Cool. So with that being said, guys, hi Saiti, welcome to this Grow with Gireesh podcast.
Hi, Gireesh.
Hi. So first of all, Saiti, just very quick intro of yourself so that our people
Yeah.
know who exactly we are going into.
Yeah. So I've done my BTech from ECE,
Mhm.
and after that I worked at TCS for 1.5 years.
Mm.
And post that I resigned to prepare for civil services, like you said. That is for 2 years. I had a gap of 2 years, and after that I didn't want to increase that gap further. So I thought of rejoining IT. So I researched about different kind of roles. So
Mm.
I felt data analyst fits me well because that is something that requires some analysis, communication, and all.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I thought of acquiring the skills.
Okay.
And after that, I didn't want to waste any time with trying and then not getting. So I immediately contacted you. I saw one of your podcasts.
Mhm.
So then I started my technical journey along with job search journey with you. Before that, I haven't even applied for a single job except one, which is Google Apprenticeship. So
Okay.
after that, I started journey with you.
Okay, so now my question is, let's address this major concept, right? Because a lot of people who have career gaps for multiple reasons, right?
Yes.
Like the UPSC examination preparation, or some of the personal reasons, have this misconception that, okay, will I be able to restart my career in IT? Will people consider my profile and everything? So I wanted to ask you, what are some of the misconceptions you had, or when people told you when you are like, okay, hey guys, I'm again want to start my career in IT. What are the misconceptions you had, or people told you before connecting with me?
There are no misconceptions as such because I was quite inspired with some of the YouTube videos that I saw.
Oh, okay.
When people said you can transition even you have gap. In fact, while I was resigning, I was confident if I don't make it to civil services, even if with gap, if I upskill myself, that was there. However, I was not confident.
Mm.
I thought I'll need some guidance from an expert. So
Got
that's
it.
how.
So you're clear about your skill sets that, I will get something, but I need maybe a little bit
Yes.
of guidance on that part.
Yes.
Okay. So that I definitely understood. Okay. Let's say now you upskilled yourself, you took the data domain and you wanted to start your journey, right? So a lot of people do a different approach. So you said that you parallelly started upskilling as well as started the career coach, right? But a lot of
Yes.
people come to me once they do everything on themselves. But like 100 jobs applied, no interview calls and everything. So why did you decide that, hey, instead of trying everything by myself, let's take from the scratch a person's help and a structured guidance rather than doing everything on your own? What is your thought process behind this?
The important factor is time here because I didn't want to waste any time and expand my gap further. So I thought, let me do it. Let me do both together. Why
Mhm.
not trying it like that? If it works, fine. If it doesn't, also, then it's fine. I thought in that way.
Okay. So do you think it's pretty much helpful for you to balance both of them
Yes,
parallelly?
yes, it was very helpful. Before joining, I just got a brief understanding of what are the boot camps or the courses that I had to pursue. So I had that idea. So now the lacking part is the job search process.
Hmm.
So there I needed your help.
So you already know what is the technical roadmap you need to follow. And
Yes,
in terms of how to crack an offer is where you parallelly manage your journey.
yes, yes,
Okay. So one thing I wanted to ask you, right? So when you started the job search, right, you're always positive and you wanted to get guidance and everything. Of course, the journey is not always positive, right?
yes,
When you
yes.
started your job search in the whole last 10 weeks, right? What are the major top three challenges you faced that you think there's a major challenges, Girish, I faced in my job search journey, especially for a profile of career gap.
Yes, the most important challenge is very common, which is not receiving calls. I haven't received any calls in the first 2 months.
Mm.
Then you have given all the optimization techniques, LinkedIn optimization, Naukri optimization. I followed all those suggestions, and then my first call was from a person where I had put a comment on his post, a
Mhm.
recruiter's post, where he wrote something like the process for inclusive hiring, how to increase diversity in hiring, something like that. I put my opinion on that as a comment. So that is the first call where the recruiter forwarded my profile to the concerned person.
Mhm.
So that is because of you, which you told me to engage on LinkedIn.
Engagement role.
Yes,
LinkedIn engagement rule, we talk about 10 minutes engagement rule.
yes,
Okay, got it. So the major challenge is about calls, getting calls. So,
yes.
okay, next, what are the major challenge?
The next is technical skills.
Mm,
I had to upskill myself again and again. So the initially my projects were very basic, which everybody does, which are on YouTube. But
mm,
then I realized, I should make my resume more unique. So then I started to um, go through some boot camps, courses, and all, and I improved my projects. Then
mhm.
I kept it them on Naukri and all.
Okay, got it, got it. So now, when you say that, like, no, when you are facing these challenges and everything, okay, what are the things you have done in this last 10 weeks that has actually helped you to get more interview calls or able to clear the technical rounds or able to even negotiate the salary? So, what are the top three learnings you had from my coaching services that has actually helped you to land this offer?
I think one is the Naukri recreation, which you told me.
Yes.
I had to delete it completely and then I had to create a new one. So
Mm.
that has really helped me because before that I haven't received any call for two continuous months. But
Yes.
later when I did this, then I started to receive huge
Mm.
number of calls. Then my first call was from ZS Associates, then Deloitte.
Mm.
Then I
Good.
gave in. Yeah.
Good, 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 good. Okay, let me address this point, right? When you said JED as associate and Deloitte, right? So now
Yes.
the misconception about people who have career gaps is these companies will not consider. These
Yes. Even
companies
I
is
had that.
far from my fetch away, and I have to just go and join a startup and do this. But you have got calls from Deloitte, you have given interviews, and right now you're placed at
Yes.
Qualcomm as a client as well. So, what do
Yes.
you suggest to people who have this career gap, have this misconception? Is it really the case that these companies will not even consider your profile, or is it actually they'll consider if you have the right skill sets? What do you think?
I think they will consider if we have a right skill set. We should just make sure that our profile is unique from others.
Okay. So, how do you do it?
I did that as I told you. I have one project for every particular skill.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that is not something which is on YouTube.
Okay. For example, can you just elaborate on the project part?
Yeah,
What on the YouTube means?
there are projects like Netflix, Blinkit, Power BI dashboard in Netflix and all that everybody puts in their resume. But
Common.
however, there are certain boot camps like Code Basics, which I found very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very detailed project. So
Mm-hmm.
I've done it and it helped me make my profile unique.
Okay. So basically, you're telling that for every technical skill you learned, you had a proof of work in
Yes,
terms of a project.
yes, correct.
Okay. So the recruiter is like, oh, she also have the practical understanding of the projects and everything.
Yes.
Okay, good. So one more thing I want to address it. When these HRs are calling you from different companies, and when you say that you have a year gap, what is the response, and how exactly you are able to convince them or communicate to them that, hey, despite me my career gap, don't judge me on this, give me an opportunity. How does that whole dynamic went?
Yeah, I think they want immediate joiners as well. There is a positive side to career gap as well.
Uh-huh.
So I think we can emphasize more on that instead of continuously thinking about career gap.
Okay. So how did you actually, let's say, if you're talking to HR and you
Okay.
say that I'm an immediate joiner, but they're also going to
Okay.
bring up this career gap stuff, right? So how did you
Yes.
tackle it?
For me, one advantage was I had prior experience of 1.5 years. So it was not a big thing for them.
Your profile.
They considered my experience and then they forwarded my profile.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. So basically, your 1.5 years of TCS experience has actually played a role that
Correct, correct.
professional, but you took a break. Now you have the right
Yes,
amount of skill sets you need to go forward. Right?
yes,
Good. Makes sense. So one more thing I wanted to ask you, right? So when you are going through this whole journey, and
yes,
you address that in the initial 2 months you didn't receive any calls,
yes,
despite putting efforts,
yes,
right? Because maybe of some small things which you need to be changed.
yes, yes.
So have you ever thought of giving up in between?
No, during that time, I was concentrating on my technical skills because if I get at least one call, I should not miss the interview. I mean, I should succeed in it. So that was my point. So I just concentrated on my technical stuff so that even if I receive one call, I will get with it.
Okay, so basically you worked on your skill part so that when the right
Yes,
opportunity comes, you're going to meet it correctly.
yes,
Okay, that makes a lot of sense because a lot of people think that just by giving an interview, you'll get an opportunity. But also, I think you should focus on your technical stack skill set
yes,
so that
yes,
those people will also value that opportunity you're giving.
yes,
Okay, good. Understood. So, we have been closely working with approximately last 10 weeks, right?
yes.
So if you can summarize, Girish, these are the top two things I have learned from the coaching uh, space, from your whole space, or which I understood regarding the hiring market and everything. What are the top three things which you learned while working with me?
One is the blue ocean strategy, which you told.
Mm,
We should increase the number of applications that we are putting so
mm,
that will lead to increase in number of calls.
mm.
Then that will lead to number of interviews
The
that will
whole
get
pipeline is
scheduled. Yes,
and everything.
yes.
Okay.
And the second is engagement on LinkedIn and Naukri.
Mm,
So I had my LinkedIn profile optimized. Then I increased my connections.
mm,
I kept posting. I started to post some video posts as well
mm,
recently.
mhm.
So these things helped.
Okay. So do you think that working on LinkedIn especially will actually help you to get more interview calls? There will be more visibility to the recruiter side?
For me, it was more from Naukri.
Okay.
I'm not very sure of LinkedIn. However, like I told you, because of my engagement for my reply for a recruiter's post,
Mm.
he forwarded my profile to concerned person.
Okay, cool. So before winding up, right, Saiti, if if a career gap guy or a person is watching this video and
Okay.
just very depressed, अरे भाई कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, I don't know where to start, what to start, whether in terms of technical and everything, just give them a rough roadmap that, hey, after the career gap, how should you even approach getting back into IT? What should you focus on the first step and second step? What is the roadmap according to you in a general perspective?
Okay. I think if they want to get back, they should first understand the role into which they want to come back
Okay.
and select the role which is popular. I mean, which has more hiring.
In demand skill, basically.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So after that, they should understand the skill set that is required.
Okay.
And then they should have some proof of work for that, all the projects and all.
For example.
Uh, yes, for data analysis, it is advanced Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Python.
Okay.
So one should first try to understand the foundation through some courses from Coursera or boot camps and all.
Okay.
And after that, they can start to prepare for the interviews.
Got it. Got
And there are a lot of channels that have all the interview questions,
it.
and then continuously applying parallelly.
Okay. So I one more question. I think you have not done any some expensive program for data analytics. I
No,
think
no,
you have not done it, right?
no,
I think you
no.
started from a very basics concept of doing a YouTube courses to getting free certifications from Google Analytics and
Yes,
everything, all these options, right?
yes, yes.
So one more concern most people have is should they definitely do a course itself, like a very expensive data analytics boot camps to only get a package, or is it practically impossible to?
It is practically possible. There are many free channels that are available on YouTube. So It's
You
very
can
much
do it by
possible.
yourself.
Yes, yes,
Okay, but I think you should be very consistent and taking action and everything.
yes, yes.
Okay, works.
And the most important factor is time. Instead of thinking of whether this will happen or not, just keep trying.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so now you restarted your career. It's a great
Yes.
thing to do, and I think it's a good organization you're starting your restarting your career with us, right? So if you can just give me a brief about Girish, where are you planning your next 2 3 years in terms of the domain of data science? So, and first question is, where are you seeing in the next 2 to 3 years? And last question I want to address is, what do you think is the future of data science as a whole domain?
Okay. So I think in the era of AI, these jobs are replaceable. So I think we need to go into something like AI engineer and all. For that, I have to upskill myself. So yes,
So in the 2 3 years span, you're planning to get into machine learning and AI. Is that what you're saying?
yes, yes.
Okay, makes sense. Okay. So yeah, next question which I've asked you is a follow-up question. What do you feel is the scope of data science as a domain in the next upcoming years?
I think it's going to be great for data science because, as everybody knows, data is the new oil. So every decision that a business takes is dependent on the data analysis, which we do. So
Mhm.
I would say that's one of the best career choices.
Okay, even after, as you suggested, after career gap, this is a career
Yes, yes,
career we can consider.
yes, definitely. There are many people who transition to data analysis after career gap. In fact, that point inspired me as well.
Yeah, you said that you have watched a lot of
Yes,
kind of success
yes,
stories, and you feel like, okay, if they can do it, I can also do it. Kind of a space.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
cool. Works. So one question, final question I wanted to wind up, right? So a lot of people, whenever they start anything, we have
yes,
this mindset of I will do everything by myself, right?
yes,
For example, whether you're going to a gym or starting a course or anything else, they're like, first I will do everything by myself, then I will take some help. But you didn't do that mistake and you took the help from the start. So, what do you suggest to people uh, who are hesitant in asking for help or taking a proper guidance and surrendering that guidance and getting a result rather than doing everything by myself? What do you suggest to that kind of people?
yeah, like I said before, just experiment. Why not experimenting if you have the guidance and the technical skills simultaneously? You can do it, right? If it works, fine. If it doesn't, then you can try it on your own as well.
Hmm. So it's better to take guidance in a structured manner
Yes,
so that you can
yes,
make things
yes,
faster.
yes. When
Super.
something is kept organized and you can consistently talk with your mentor,
Hmm.
that's a great opportunity and privilege. So better take it instead of
Works,
trying and
works. Super, super. I think it's been a great. I think a lot of points have been covered, Saiti, from your side. I think what you
yeah.
said is very practical approach. I think two
Yes.
major things which are takeaway from this podcast is that you don't need to do expensive courses or some boot camps of thousands of rupees to start a, learn a skill, go all in and get into a offer letter. I think that's pretty much little bit of most groundbreaking, I would say, because a lot of people think that expensive course करना है उसके बाद ही मिल जाता है opportunities, right? And second thing you said is also that irrespective of your career gap, you're very confident that if you are skilled enough, companies would love to take you back. I think that's all two takeaways from my side as well. So with that being said, I hope guys you have got a lot of insights from this conversation we had with Saiti. If you're a person with career gap and thinking to restart your career, do consider the data domain, obviously. And from that space, definitely you can take things on forward. With that being said, I will see you in my next podcast again with one more success story, with one more inspiring story to help you out in terms of your career. Thank you so much, guys.